That's taking an awful long time.
Good morning.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Vargas. We're going to jump off because we have a special guest, and she needs to get busy talking to you about the great things that she's going to be doing in our community, what she's already doing.
What she's doing.
And I'm Jamal Smith.
Girl, they're so crazy. They do that all the time. And I'm just like, wait, you guys don't have to jump off. They just
That was a Houdini for real.
Right. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Toni Talk Show. Super excited about this episode today. I told you that I'm going to start bringing some of the builders on that we've previously had on. And so we're starting with Kendra Mays, who was the first builder that we had on from Kendra Mays Designs and Kendra Custom Homes. And so Kendra is super excited to have you back on the show today. Thank you for gracing us. And let's jump right in. I'm super excited to talk to you.
I was on like 5 or 6 months ago, and that's flown by so fast.
Well, I think we had you on in, I want to say February, because we had you on before the town hall. Yes. The town hall was March 8th. So February and March. So I'm excited. Tell us everything. And when I say tell us everything, I'm talking about, I want to give everyone an update as to what's happening from, I have so many questions, but we'll talk about that. So I do. And I know that other people have questions. They'll probably pop them in, but questions regarding what you're doing in the community, the homes, the people you're meeting with. I know we speak from time to time, and your team no sleep because you have clients. I'm super happy. You and so many others. And a week ago Monday, I think Brian and I and Brandon went around and looked at houses that are being rebuilt. Some houses that are like fully up, that have windows that are ready for the Tyvek wrapping. Some that are breaking ground on the land. Some that are clearing lots. Some that are we counted, or we did some videoing and photos of like 10 throughout the community. And so bringing you back on, I want to find out from you, how many lots, I want to ask you how many clients you have, because that's just your business. But I mean, if you want to talk about any of those numbers or give round numbers, you can. But how many out of the clients that you have, how many fully permitted homes, lots do you have? Like from the county, you've done everything back and forth. You've worked with the clients, and now they have full permits, and you're breaking ground, and you're like starting for these people.
Yes. Well, so far we have 8 fully permitted, and then we still have another 5 that have the conditional permit, where we can just go start the site prep and all of that kind of stuff. So in all, we have 13 that are ready to go. 8 of those are full building permits, and 5 of those are the conditional site prep permits. We have another, a lot more in the pipeline coming down, and it has been great. We pretty much have been groundbreaking every week, either 1 a week or 2 a week, every week. Since July. So it is exciting, not just for me, but all the other builders, all the other homeowners that are in, like, to drive it starting from January and to see it now is so much hope and joy. And, it's Altadena strong, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
All I feel now, the energy has completely shifted from when we first started driving through in 6 or 7 months ago. So yeah, I am excited. We have another groundbreaking coming up Monday.
Was Jarvis and Elaine?
Yes.
Yeah. They were telling me about it at church. I'm sure this Sunday at church, they'll be like, Toni, are you coming? And I told them, I said, I'll be there if you want me to be there. But you were gracious enough to invite me to the groundbreaking of the Williams the other day. I'm sorry, the Edwards, Maria, and is it Clarence? Craig Edwards, right? On Glen, off of just north of Altadena Drive. And that was nice. I got a chance to talk to them. Like when I walked up, I think I saw you, hugged you, and Maria was like, Toni. And I'm like, okay, I don't know her. But she knew me. She was like, I came, she told me she came to the town hall, but that she learned through Wilda. Wilda referred her to you, and Wilda had, found out about you through, I think, the show in the town, whatever the show, because then she invited them to
domino effect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was great meeting both of them, and I told them I was so thankful that they had gotten the information, through Wilder or whoever, and were able to come to the town hall. And she said, the town halls where they really got the information, like listening to my brother talk about, stuff from CAL FIRE and the whole permitting process and everything that you guys discussed, right? And so tell me what that's like right now, because we are also on these Facebook pages for Altadena, beautiful Altadena, California, different stuff. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we've seen is that a lot of people are continuously complaining. We try to keep things positive around here, but complaining that the permitting is taking so long. But you do a lot of pre-work prior to that permit. You're constantly going back and forth with the customer and saying, okay, what is it that you want to see? What would you want to change? What do you want your house to look like on the inside? What do you want it to look like on the outside? You go back and forth through several iterations of the design until it gets to exactly what they want. Yes. And then your architect does his thing, your structural engineer does his thing. I know this because we've talked about it, but then once Ryan, your architect, I believe, goes down and submits to planning for plan check and permitting or whatever, what is that timeline like right now? How long is that taking?
It's a good couple months, Okay. They're saying 8 to 12 weeks. For us, it's been an average of about 6 to 8 weeks, but we were on a learning curve just like everyone else, and we started kind of learning a cheat code. And I would love to talk to even the other builders, because right now from what we've been told, Catherine Vargas' office told us that we have the most approved permits so far out of the other builders, and they're hosting a senior build summit here at my location to kind of help the seniors understand the permitting process, because they're hearing so much.
And we'll get to that later in the show, because I do want you to talk specifically about that and invite people out and give your address and all of that. But I wanted to just find out, like, what was the that permitting time frame, because we hear so much, and we're hearing, the county saying 60 days on average, and other people saying, oh, I put mine in May, I still don't have it. And I want to say to them, maybe it's because you don't have the right builder, because I know Kendra has a bunch, but I can't say that, right? I see the comments.
We did kind of, in the beginning, I think our first one took us about 3 months, honestly. Okay. But we learned with that one. That one was kind of the guinea pig, so to speak. So we started learning how to almost not cheat the system. That's such a horrible way to say it.
No, but you said it.
But get it in there. So for example, most of the builders, they're getting the drawings in, they're getting the MEP, they're, getting Title 24, they're doing the structural engineering, and then they're sending everything in, right? Well, in our kind of cheating or whatever, we get the drawings, we get the floor plan done, we get the set of plans, and we just go ahead and submit.
Got it.
And while to get it in the system.
Right.
So while it's getting in the system, getting in the queue and getting a plan check assigned to it, we are then working on Title 24. We're working on structural engineering. So we don't wait and get the whole package and then send it in. We send in those drawings. We get them right on in there. With elevations and everything. And then we work on that stuff. So by the time a plan check coordinator pulls it and says, hey, we need MEP, we need Title 24, we need structural, we already have it. But so that cuts down weeks. I mean, 2 to 3 weeks is cutting down, and every week counts, every day counts.
Yeah.
So that's even for ways that we're getting them in there.
Yeah. So even for homeowners or builders who might be watching today, because we know that, people watch the show, that might be good that you're giving them a little bit of a cheat code, right? Like, don't wait until you get the full package, put it in, get the rest, start putting it in. So by the time whoever that plan checker is checks it, you've added all those things and they don't have to ask for it. And I know there's a bunch of different departments that have to do things. We've been, as part of the announcements, making sure people understand how to apply for that fee waiver or refund waiver. And
we do it for them when we send it in with the plans.
That's
Actually,
awesome.
We have a blank form, and the day that I meet with you to make sure that the plans are correct, I have them sign it. We already have it pre-filled out. Yeah, I have them sign it, and we send it all in together.
You know, it's so important, I think, that you stated that, because one of the things we talked about yesterday was we're going to meet with a lady. She's supposed to call me, I think, from USC or something, that is talking about soil testing. And I know that you and I spoke, and you said you were making sure that you were doing the soil testing as well, and make sure that if new soil needs to brought in or whatever, that's all part of your process and what you do. And a lot of people are saying, I guess they're having to really test their soil. So can you speak to that? Like, I know for you, you try to be a complete package for people and make sure that from A to Z, you're doing it for them, right? So that, because this is a stressful time after losing your whole life or whatever. But there are people that I guess their builders are not offering those services. So what are your thoughts on that? Or what is it that you make sure you do to make sure that these clients that you're having to deal with, especially after the loss for their rebuild, really don't have to be stressed out about that stuff, and you handle things?
Kind of exactly like you say, there's a reason why most of our builds are seniors, you know, well over 65. A lot of them are in their 70s and 80s, and they gravitate to us for that reason. We don't expect you to know how to build a home. We don't expect you to have any experience. You shouldn't have to. That's what you're paying us for. And all of those services, I don't consider going above and beyond. I just consider it getting us to groundbreaking. The things have to be done. I'm not going to expect any of my clients, whether senior or not, to go out there and collect soil samples and log them into the system and send them to no. We do all of that, and we don't expect you to even know it or understand it. We just keep you in the know of what's going on. That's why we created kind of like that home build resource guide. That you can read that to know what needs to be done, but we're not telling you that you have to do any of them. You know, we completely get it done for you. So it's like a checklist. Oh, we need to do this. Kendra has already done it. Or, you know, her staff have already done this, or staff has already done that. And the flip side of that, it keeps people very familiar with us. You know, we're doing the soil samples, we're at the county, we're talking to inspectors. It keeps us in front of these people that when it's time to break ground, when it's time to build a home, they're very familiar with us, and we can call in favors as opposed to having to go through so many different circles and loops all the time. So it's good for them, but it's also good for us because it's building the relationships that we need with key people that are a part of the county and a part of the rebuild process.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you for sharing that. And one of the things that you touched on, and I told Brian and Jamal yesterday, we had a meeting that I was going to ask you about. You said it, 57% of Altadenians are over the age of 60. So we have so many seniors. I know you met with a lady yesterday who is Brian's soon-to-be mother-in-law, and I think she's 98. And from the very beginning, after the fire took her home, she was like, oh, we're rebuilding, you know. And so she's been there for, I don't know, 70 years or something, but a long time in Altadena. And so she knew, like, I'm rebuilding my house. But I wanted to ask you, how do you navigate that whole thing with our seniors? Because there are some that are 7 months out and are like, I don't know if I'm going to rebuild. They're not sure yet. Then there are some that are like, I'm definitely rebuilding, and some that are like, I'm not rebuilding. But then if they come and they talk to you, they may think, oh, well, maybe it's possible. right?
Yeah.
I know a lot have been scared off by architects or other builders that are charging enormous amounts of money and telling them they're going to need, $1.5 million to rebuild, and it's going to take 2 to 5 years. And they're
Right.
like, I'm mid 70s. I'm 95. Like, will I
Yeah.
even be alive at that time? So
Right.
how are you dealing with and navigating that? Because you do have so many seniors coming to speak with you.
Yeah. The first of all, I put myself in their shoes. What if I was in my 70s and my 80s and I not lost just my home, I lost everything,
Yeah.
everything. All I have now is memories. So I understand, one, that it is an emotional journey, but I understand too that it is an educated journey too. So that's my biggest thing. I educate them. Any
Mhm.
question that they won't answer, I answer. No question is too small. No question is too complex. I want them to understand the process. Some of these homes was built in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s.
Yeah.
And a lot of the seniors, they don't understand building technology of today.
Mhm.
They don't, the homes back then were almost put together, so paper thin, no pun intended, but they just were. The technology
Yeah.
wasn't the same as it is now. So that's one of the biggest things, really, really spending a whole lot of time with them and helping them understand that it is possible to rebuild your home beautifully, to rebuild it affordably. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to break the bank to rebuild it quickly, but to rebuild it safely,
Safe.
because the building technology is just like any other technology.
Yes.
Phones are not the same as they were back then. Computers are not the same as they were back then. Televisions are not the same as they were back then. And building materials are not the same as they were back then. So I think
Well,
it's
you think about it. The
educating.
electrical alone is so different. There was knob and tubing back when a lot of these
Exactly.
Altadena homes were built, right? So the electrical system's totally different. The
Yes.
the fact that people have to get solar, and we brought JoJo on, who came, through you. You work with her all the time for your builds, and she's helping you with the solar. So she can literally sit down and educate people as well about
Yes.
what they need to do with solar. Um,
Yes.
it's everything has changed and evolved, and it's going to continue to evolve.
And it
And so it's
continue
so
to.
important that you are doing just that. You're educating people and saying, yes, back then it was this, now it's this, and this is what's even in the future. Because I think about when you and I spoke with Allison on that 3-way call, I don't know, 6 or so weeks ago, and she's looking into the 3D printing, including in the foundation. And a
Right.
foundation could be done in a few hours, or a 3D house in a day.
Yeah.
So the technology is super different, always evolving. And I think,
But it's different for the better.
right.
And a
But I
lot
think
of seniors
there's,
don't understand that. And that's where I really spend the most time, is helping them understand different does not mean worse.
yeah,
Different is different, but this different is for the better.
right.
And I
Yeah,
always
it's
give the
unknown.
analogy of how you used to get up and walk to the television and have to turn. You don't have to do that anymore. Like, our mind can't even remember when you used to have to do that.
I
And
remember
how
'cause I was,
now our phone is not a rotary. We can literally hold it in our hands. So I use those analogies to help them understand that technology applies to everything,
yeah.
including building materials.
Did you hear me? I said, I remember turning that dial because I was the
Yeah.
remote control.
Yeah.
We were the remote control for our parents before we came out.
Oh, our
In the
kids
70s.
could never understand that.
Not at all.
The
But you
pampered and
can,
poshness of these kids would never understand being used as a human remote.
as a human remote, as the dishwasher, as the gardener, as
All of
everything,
that, okay?
because we were. But
Facts.
that's because we grew up in the 70s and the 80s, and I'm a 60s baby, 65. But yes, it is.
The best
We
years.
were the remotes and all of that. But the fact is, yes, I think it's the unknown, right? Because when cell phones first came out, the size of them versus now, what you can do, these are mini computers that we hold every day, versus then they weren't mini
Exactly.
computers. But the fact is, when it's unknown, it takes a minute for people to not only understand it, but to ease into it and get used to it. And before you know it, in 2 to 5 years, when everything is built with this new technology and the hardscaping and, you know, the sprinkler systems and everything that's required, I think more people will understand this really is for the better, number one. Number two, depending on what you're using, if you're not doing a traditional stick build or whatever, and I'm a little biased because I know some of the technology, right? I think that also when you look at, they've made it an extreme high fire zone, and your insurance doesn't go 100% higher because of the new building technology, right? And or they don't kick you off and you have to do the fair plan or whatever, but your insurance company keeps you because you've chosen to go with this new technology that's basically fireproof or fire resistant for 6 hours, you know, windproof, earthquake proof, all these things that has taken, that has taken a decade, I mean, not a decade, but generations, right? A century to change from 1925 to 2025, but it's so good now that.
But I really put a lot of that on the United States. We are the ones that are behind in this building material. I mean, everywhere else, all over Asia, New Zealand, Europe, it's standard. You know, so we're the ones that are behind. So trying to integrate something that seems new, but it's literally been around 20 years ahead of time in these other countries. It is a challenge. So what we do is we educate. This is a stick build. This is new building technology. And we just still give them the option. After all the wonderful ways, the reason why I feel you should go with this, you still choose this, we happily and glowingly do it for you.
Right. That's good. And that's excellent that it is about the option, right? And you've educated them enough and they can make the choice, whoever it is, whether you're in your 40s, 60s, 80s, 90s, 100, whatever. But you're educating, you're making it so that people understand it, and then it's affordable, and they know that they don't have to be scared off by ridiculous pricing or somebody telling them it's going to be 2 to 5 years when it literally could be. I see people that would be in their house probably by October, November, before Thanksgiving or Christmas.
I'm telling you, home for the holidays. That's been our hashtag, home for the holidays.
Yeah, because if it's
have people home for the holidays, I'm positive of it.
And in less than a year since the fire. And even if they're the only one on their block, but then other people start building, at least they're home, because so many that are displaced are like, okay, I'm living here right now, but this isn't home for me, right? They're hesitant to buy a lot of new things. You know, they have the basics of either furniture or in their kitchen, very little, because like, I know which spoon I'm going to use to cook with. I know which pot is my favorite. And those things that they no longer have, they're like, well, I don't want to go and rebuy it because I'm only here temporarily. Even if temporary is 2 years, whatever, or 18 months or 6 months. Well, it's already been 7 months, but another 6 months. They want to wait until they get back home in their kitchen, bathroom, whatever, and buy everything because they are home and are truly settled. And so it's so good.
We make sure that as many homeowners as we can, that they end the year a little bit better than they started it. That's what we're hoping.
And I remember you telling me recently about the gentleman, Mr. Is it Roberson?
Yes. Johnny and Lila.
I love them. So I was at an event and we were listening to people on stage talking, but I saw him get up and walk out. So I got up and walked out because he was an older gentleman. And I was like, I need to make sure he knows about this town hall, right? And so, it was before the town hall. And I asked him, I said, hi, are you planning on rebuilding? And I think he's in his 80s or whatever, but are you planning on rebuilding? He said, yes, I am. And I said, do you have a builder already? He said, no. I said, okay, well, I'm having this town hall. I would love for you to come. You can hear from different builders, architects, all of this, so you can understand the process. And so he was like, okay. And he went back in, we went back in, but at the end, I talked to him again and met Lila, and they were like, we're going to be here. And the day of the town hall, he was the first one there, and he took a seat right in front of the stage.
Yes.
At a table right in front of the stage. And at the end, he almost came up on the stage to talk to you, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He did. He walked up to the stage with a little piece of paper. Right. Like, let me write your phone number on here.
Right. So you've done everything with them.
Yeah.
And tell a little
What started even their story. So he's 80 and Lila's 76.
Okay.
And she's 26. She is something else. I love her.
Girl
But
like
it
my
started
rabbit.
with, he told me, he says, baby, I have lived in this home longer than you've been alive, he says, and I've been retired for 50 years. So he
Oh,
says, I don't want to change too much of this house. He says, because I don't want to get used to a whole nother house. He says
got it.
for, 50 something years, he's come in, he's gone certain ways. And
Right.
so I'm like, okay, great. We can give you something very similar. She comes in and says, nope, we're changing everything. And and she did. She changed it all. And it
Like, you're
went
gonna get used to
from,
the new house.
it literally went from just let us kind of get back to where now they will have 3 units on their lot.
Oh,
Three.
you said that.
Yes, they will have 3 units. And then he started putting his 2 cents in. So now, okay, I want a covered jacuzzi and fire pit. And so he just got fancy, right?
Right,
Because she
right.
kind of pulled him along the way. And because he was just kind of being and I loved that.
Yeah.
In the age that they're in, they started dreaming big.
About what they really want, because
Yes.
these older houses, some people never remodel them. Well, now you have a clean slate. You get to design exactly
Yes.
what you want. If you want an attached garage, so you walk into your house, do that. If you want, like you said, a jacuzzi that's covered or a walkway, like you have that opportunity for the dream bathroom or the dream kitchen or whatever you want.
Yeah, it was so nice.
And
When
that's what you
he
did with
showed them
them.
their plans, he looked at me and he says, I've lived all over the world, because he was in the military. And
Mhm.
he says, I've never wanted to live any place but Altadena. He says,
Hey,
I never even thought that I could live like this in
in
Altadena.
Altadena. Yeah,
That blessed my heart.
that's awesome. And so are they fully permitted?
They're fully permitted, but they're not breaking ground until January, because
Oh,
they
how come you're waiting?
yeah, they're fully permitted, and we're just waiting because they want to be here for their groundbreaking. And September, the first week in September, they're gone for the rest of the year. They're
Oh,
going all
nice.
over. Yeah, they're going all over
Traveling.
Europe.
Yeah, good for them. And so, well, yeah, so they were like, we're permitted, but we'll wait. That's
Yeah,
awesome. I
yeah,
can't wait because I want to come give them hugs and everything because they
yeah.
are
They're fully
amazing.
permitted. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about their floor plan. A lot more than others. Just their story is just
Yeah,
so beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, so they got fully permitted, and then they're taking off. They're like,
Good. I'm excited for that. And then I want to go back to this senior summit that you're doing. You said that Catherine Barger reached out to you. And can you tell us a little bit about what they asked and what you're doing and when it is?
Yes, so they reached out because they wanted to host a senior rebuild summit.
Okay.
And it's going to be September 19th. I still don't have the exact times. I will come back on when I do, so I can invite as many people. But Catherine will be here, and of course her office and her staff. And they want us to educate the seniors really on the full rebuild process, but definitely the permitting process, because that's where a little bit of disconnect is coming from. Like, do they have to get an architect and then turn around and have to get a surveyor and then turn around and have to they don't know, so it's holding them up for making decisions. Or do I get a one-stop shop, and is a one-stop shop worth it? And how long is the permit process taking, and why is it going to be 2 years before I'm in my home? And so they want to know all these questions. And I guess who better to do it than someone who's in the community, who has a lot of permits, who kind of knows the process. And I have a lot of senior clients already. So it's going to be here. They're going to have refreshments. They're doing catering, and it's going to be a really good time. And then I get to do what I love most, which is educate.
Not only educate, you love designing. You love.
I do.
Well, let me tell you, when I say Team No Sleep, I think it was last week. So you guys know I was gone like 2 weeks on vacation, came back and was a little bit sick, and it caught this little cold. And one day last week, I called Kendra at, was it 5:45 in the morning? I think so.
Like that.
Because I knew she was up. Because she does not. And she answered the phone, which I knew she would. And somebody was like, "You called her at 5:45?" I said, "Yes, you have to understand. Kendra will go to sleep at 10 o'clock. And if the Lord wakes her up at 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock and says, sketch this home, she's getting up sketching.
Yes.
And then she's going to do her praying and her meditating and all of her stuff before she gets ready and gets driven down to Altadena, because she also doesn't drive. She does drive, but she is chauffeured around a lot to her job sites and stuff. And that, I used to go, she got it made in the shade, but I understand she's so busy that she's
constantly. It's not because I'm bougie. It really is because I'm working.
It is. It's because she's taking calls, because she's sketching, because she might be on her laptop, and so she can't drive. So Ronald, her project manager, will do it some days. Her sons do it some days, and I have seen the process. How she doesn't pick up a purse, she don't pick up her stuff, like. And that's not throwing shade. I am like in so awe because she has such an amazing team. The majority of her team is her family, her children. Her daughter is a designer as well, and does a lot of the interior stuff, and not just furniture, but the finishings. And then her sons are contractors, and it's incredible. And the other day when when the groundbreaking happened and she invited me, it was so great to see them all with the Kendra Mays Designs t-shirts on. And then she had this t-shirt that said, "I am the GC," which I loved because anybody that knows anything about building or general contracting, it's a male-dominated field. And I told her, I said, "That's funny. We have these veteran shirts for women veterans that say, 'I am the veteran,' because people automatically think, 'Oh, well, can you tell me your husband?' And I'm like, no, I'm the veteran, right?" And so for her, I loved seeing her in that shirt the other day because she is the GC, not the man over here. And then she's his assistant or something like that. So I loved it. And your team
is just a little shade to the inspectors. Like,
hey, you gotta let them know it's me, not this one over here, not my kid, not my son. But and so I thought that was great seeing you all and all of that, which was amazing. I think we have, if Jamal can pop in and maybe show some photos, I took some pictures. My phone decided that I had too much pictures and videos to record much, but I did take a couple pictures from out there, if you don't mind us showing them, and you could just speak, to them a little bit. But Jamal, they're in the green room and Jamal's not listening. Hold on, you guys. Brian, look, I'm gonna start popping him on the screen. There he is. He was getting ready. Popped to me and he popped himself right back out. So anyway,
was too funny.
This was the Edwards. Maria actually has Kendra's contractor vest on. So Kendra has these women. Drisana, who is a realtor that she works with, has been for I think 20 years, and Joanne, who does the solar and has been working with her a long time. So when Kendra opened her building, her warehouse, where she is sitting in the design room right now, over on Woodbury next to Gordy's, by like Woodbury and Kalanda or whatever, they presented her with like some flowers and a contractor's hat and this vest of her being a contractor, which I thought was awesome. And they are also part of her team. But Maria has the vest on in this picture, and her husband has the hard hat on. And they were there with their daughters in the black next to the dad.
Yes.
On the side of them are Pastor Kerwin Manning and his wife. I believe her name is either Melissa or Melinda, but those are their pastors. And so what he was doing was praying over the land before Kendra's team starts doing all of their stuff to grade it and start building. And so that's what this picture was. Jamal, do we have another? We don't have to do the videos per se, but I took that one because that's the bulk of her team, and I really wanted you guys to see them all in their shirts. So her daughter and the young lady in the white t-shirt and the burgundy pants is her daughter's bestie. But I was like, "Hi, other daughter," and she just cracked up. I said, because Kendra has 9 kids, but Kendra has about 20 kids because all of her kids have 1 or 2 besties, and she treats them all as her children because she has this amazingly big heart full of love and grace. And so all of them up there,
my babies.
all her babies. And Ronald is standing behind her. She has the shovel with the camouflage pants on, just taking pictures. Drasana, who is her realtor, is there in the burgundy dress. And so, yeah, it was a really good time. I believe a news station was there. Was it Channel 4?
NBC.
NBC4 taking, and I don't know if they aired it that same day or they're going to or what, but
it's a continuing piece.
Okay.
So
That's right.
This has been the third. Yeah, they're telling the story. This has been the third filming. So then, when we put up the framing, they'll be back out again.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we've been coming out because, well, this was the first one, but because we're local and we have the talk show, we want to do the same. We want to document it, and we're going all over Altadena, whether it's Kendra Building or someone else, where we see stuff and we're saying, hey, it's this address and, on this block. So Kendra invited me out to this one. I will probably show up Monday, may or may not, but because they told me to come. At church Sunday, they were like, are you coming? Elaine was like, are you coming? And Jarvis was like, you coming to the groundbreaking? I said, I might be there. I'll let you know. So they'll probably ask me again Sunday at church. But it's so amazing to see everything. And like you said, the hope, the joy, we're getting back to this, right? I wanted to make sure, Brian and Jamal, pop in, please, if you have questions. Yeah, you can just show more of those. But we're at a quarter till. We know she has an 11 o'clock, so I want us to finish in time with this part of it before we do other speaking and go to announcements. So if you have questions for Kendra that you want to talk about or ask her, please pop in and ask. And I don't know if anybody in the watching today has any questions. No, it doesn't look like it. Did you have anything?
No, I actually don't have any questions. I'm happy that you're progressing, through the permit phase and building. You're starting to build homes now. You got a significant number of clients in the area. People are listening to you. They're learning from you. Hopefully they're learning from everybody who, they engage with, whether they use you or not, but especially because they're folks that engage with you are definitely learning. So I appreciate it. And I just hope it continues.
Thank you, Brian.
And we want to see it just come back. Like I always say, bigger, better, stronger.
Yeah.
That's the homeowner.
Definitely helping that.
Exactly.
That's the homeowner holding the hat, the hard hat. That's great. I did want to ask you this, Kendra. Are you at liberty? I know you've shown me some. There's Wilda and Kendra and some others speaking, but are you at liberty to show a sketch or whatever of what a few of the houses that you're breaking ground on or whatever that are permitted will look like? Would you be okay to show a couple of those?
Yes. I don't know how do I, I don't know tech.
I know, I forgot to ask you earlier. Do you have a couple of just the photos maybe that you could send back to my email real quick, and then I could pop them in the WhatsApp and Jamal could bring them on? Because we do have about 15 minutes or just under that we could do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I should have asked you that prior to us starting when we were in the green room.
No, it's all right.
But I just thought about it. And just
a good one to start with would be that one right there.
Okay, yeah, of what it will look like. And just for anybody that is watching in the audience, Kendra is sitting in her warehouse on Woodbury, but the specific room she's in is her design. What do you call it? Design center?
Yes.
Yes. And so she has samples behind her and on the walls of kitchens, of cabinets, of tile, so that you can go into her design center. Oh, thank you, Jamal, for putting that up also. That is her address, 747 West Woodbury Road. 787. I said 47. I don't know why. I was thinking about an airplane or something, huh? The old ones. 787. And then she's there 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sometimes give or take a little bit longer because I know her. But the phone number to best reach her at the office, that even if she doesn't answer, her daughter is probably there or will be able to answer, is the 626-314-3001. So for anybody who has not started the process and would like to talk to Kendra, even if it's just for education, Kendra is like, hey, even if you don't go with me, I want you to be well educated. You can come talk to me. You can look and see what we have and go from there. And then if you do decide to go with her, you'll also be able to, sit and have an appointment with her and start that process. But she is definitely willing to educate you on anything.
I'm going to send you actually theirs. You could see the
Okay. Yes.
design of theirs.
Okay. And then if you can, if you email those to me now, I'll shoot them to Jamal in the WhatsApp, and then you can speak to it real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we've got you for about just under 15 minutes. So we'll try to get this done at like 10 after. But I will definitely put those in, and he can look at them and say, okay, great.
Okay.
Let me know which email you
10 before, right? Not 10 after?
10 before. Yes, I'm sorry.
You want to make
Okay,
sure
I'm
she
going
gets
to
her.
send it to you right now. That way you can, I'll just do the one, just because I know.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
up.
yeah. Of what it would look like from the street or whatever. You don't have to go through their whole, this is the room, this is that, but just something that you've worked on. Because last time you were on back in February, I believe, is when I said, could you sketch something? And you did it in a weekend, and we brought that on, and it was a beautiful house that absolutely looked like it would be an Altadena house.
And Kendra, while you're bringing that up, I'm just curious, what have you learned about the folks in the community since you've been engaging with so many and, starting to do the rebuild and all kind of stuff that might be unique from other locations or people that you've dealt with?
What have I learned?
Yeah. Anything unique about folks in Altadena from other people you've kind of worked with? Or are there a lot of common
Well, I mean, it's been such an emotional ride. I'm usually what I deal with is just a build. Someone bought a lot and a custom, but not where they lost everything, and then they're starting over. So it's been just an influx of so many emotions on all sides. It could be emotions of hope, emotions of they're still kind of lost and it's still sad, and but overall hope. It's been a whole lot of, okay, you know what, I've gone through the sadness. Now it's time to make this something better. And so I've seen a lot of resilience. I mean, I don't think there's anyone more resilient than the residents of Altadena. So
I agree.
Thing that I can definitely say that I've seen that it's not that it necessarily is different, but it's so much more there. And Antoinette, I sent them to. It's so much more there. And what else can I say?
Which one did you
huge support. That is also something that has been huge. So this has been my 4th groundbreaking so far. And I haven't had one single groundbreaking that someone else, they may be way down in the process of getting their home rebuilt. They might be just starting, but they come out and support the other ones who's their time,
Nice.
I had one that last week, she's like, she still doesn't even know if she is rebuilding, but she came out and supported the groundbreaking. Wow. So that has been a huge thing. They pop in here. I don't have to have an appointment, and they pop in. They bringing me tomatoes from the garden, and and flowers, and this. My client just can't walk in. Just so you know.
Awesome.
She said, "Okay, see, she got 10 minutes, girl. Keep on going." And they come in, right there. They come in and they start talking to my daughter, and like everybody, just all friends. Like I've gained so many more sisters and brothers. It's not even funny. I will get to say, "Did you eat today, Queen? Did you remember to drink some water? Or you're moisturizing your skin?" Like it is
making sure you're taking care of yourself.
The sense of community and support that everyone gives each other. It really is beautiful.
She knows I get on her nerves with that, because I will in a heartbeat be like, "Did you eat? Did you?" I'll text her. "Did you eat? did you have water? Did you take a break? Because she was
They started checking in with my daughter, asking her, "Did Kendra eat today?" We're taking care of her, right? We need her. Like it's
Yeah.
it's
That's
wonderful.
really cool. So one of the things I know that you actually do as well, as Tony's bringing the pictures up, when you meet with folks, traditionally, as you've mentioned before, you kind of explain the process and how they can work with you, but you encourage folks to actually not just go with you right out the blocks. You encourage them to
Sure.
check with other people and what have you.
Yes.
What
That's
is
big for me.
when people ultimately sign up with you after having gone to other folks? Do they let you know that it's more than just the price? Because I venture to think that it's more than just the price.
Yeah, they always say that.
Because it seems like you're giving way more than just the numbers, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so that does, it's confirmed.
Yes,
so.
because sometimes people will come to me and I'm their first person.
Mhm.
And they just have no idea, what to even ask. So I go through the whole thing and then I say, but please, go do your due diligence because I only want my client. This is a partnership. After I leave, you have to live there.
Right.
And so this has to be a partnership. So you're interviewing me and I'm also interviewing you and making sure it's a good fit because for me, it's definitely not just about money. It's wholeheartedly about the partnership, the legacy build, and what we're doing going forward. So and most of the time, every time someone comes back to me, it had nothing to do with price. It had everything to do with, man, because they didn't even talk to me. Like they barely just wanted to rush me out of there, or they had no vision. Because sometimes people they don't know what they want.
Yeah.
I keep trying to tell people you have to be part design, part psychology. You have to be able to sit down and know how to give them what they don't even know that they need.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why I'm glad you said that, and I mean it confirmed what I felt. But part of the reason why I asked is I've known a couple people who have gone with folks. They weren't with you. They didn't go with you. I don't even think they got to the point where they met with you. However, they did meet with a couple other folks, and they ultimately chose someone that was a higher cost per square foot to ultimately build. But what it came down to was the vibe that they had, right?
Yes.
It wasn't about price. It was really about how they felt about, the person that they're working with. So I figured that probably factored in, but the fact that you can also come in lower than most people as well, I'm sure that's just a win-win all the way. Win-win-win all the way across.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So well, I have the image up.
This is Edwards, where you went on Glen Avenue.
This is going to be what their house looks like. This is the final one that they've chosen. Or
actually, the second one. This was very good because this is where we started. And if you go up,
go to the next photo.
Yes, because we started changing some of the. This is where we ended on.
Oh, so, nice! I like that.
Yeah, yes. So we end up having to pull because they wanted some more room where the daughters on the right where the daughter's bedroom was going to be. They wanted some more space, so we pulled the house up more. And so then that changed the concept a little bit more. We end up doing a different kind of roof. So when it's all said and done, this is their exterior home. We're doing the board siding in the front and the regular siding on the back. So see, it was all one level. At a point, and then the garage door, and so then we changed it when their floor plan changed. Obviously, the elevation changed, and then I started doing my thing. My design brain started going crazy, and this is their final. That's their final. That will be their home when it is all said and done. We're going to do the board and bag side, and then we're going to go. We're going to do vertical in the front, and then we're going to go. Horizontal on the sides and in the back, and it's going to be that color. We're going to do the brick porch.
Love it.
Everything that you see, and then you'll see the interior concepts. So there's going to be open concept. They're going to have a couple of exposed beams. When you come in the front door, there's going to be their front dining area, their formal dining area, open flow kitchen, dining, living space.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is when you're looking in the other way. Now you're standing in the kitchen looking toward you.
Nice.
And these are all the things that we do. So they get a snapshot of how everything is going to look. Tray ceilings in the primary bedroom.
Oh, that's
beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And all that natural light from those large windows.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
it's just what they, kind of what they wanted, and then me bringing it to life for them. And then
Good.
that's
Oh, I love that. The
their
double
bathroom.
vanities.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very nice.
The other
Very nice.
side of their bathroom.
Very nice.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, that's good. So
Absolutely.
I'm excited for the Edwards to see that come to fruition in a few months. Hopefully they'll be home by Christmas. But I think, and we talked about this before, it depends now, not on you and your team, because you guys are doing all your stuff. You're sending it over to the ones who are going to furnish your materials and all of that, but the inspectors. And I think that that is what's going to make or break the time in Altadena, right? Because if a build takes 3 to 4 months, but it could be pushed out 6, 7, 8 months, that's going to be because the county doesn't have enough inspectors. So we do have a guy who came on here who's an inspector that I told you about last week, and we're going to get his information to you that you all can connect, because if there's anything he can do, because he told us if there's anything I can do with as an inspector or people that I know or a team that I have, I will try to do that and help. So it would be great to connect you all. And if by chance, like every time you need an inspection, you can reach out to him and he can kind of, expedite those or whatever, that would be great, because I know he is fully approved, authorized, whatever, as a county inspector. But I think that will probably be the most challenging thing, both here and in Palisades, is, okay, we're ready for inspection, and how long it takes the inspectors to get there.
Yeah, I agree. We have said that we're like there are going to be phases where the home is just sitting and we're waiting on inspection, but we're going to do the best we can. The same way we kind of tried to figure out that whole permit process to keep on to, so we'll figure out that inspection process and whose face we need to continually be in down there at the county.
Yeah. Let's see. Assumptions can get you in trouble. I don't know what that was too, but I think I don't know if I said I assumed something or whatever, but Stogie Man said assumptions can get you in trouble. And so by Jersana is watching. She said beautiful. I would assume that's to what we just showed for the Edwards home. But I don't see any other comments. And I know we're at 10:58 and you have an 11 o'clock, and she is there, and she told you had 10 more minutes. So we are going to honor that and not have you go over time, assuming that a man is the GC. Oh, that's when we were talking about that. Right. You're right, Stogie Man. So thank you so much for coming back. I do look forward to having you back next month, either before or right after the summit, depending on your calendar and your schedule. Brian is back in. I don't know if he has any parting words. We'll stay here for a few more minutes because we have announcements and things like that. But
thank you guys.
Please send us the information when you get your flyer together for the date. For the times on September 19th for your senior summit, because we definitely want to make sure you come talk about that either before or after, but and that we promote it so that our seniors know and can come and get any other information that they need. And if they choose to work with you at that point, they can do that as well.
And Kendra, just to make sure, is this the number for your Altadena office is the best number for people to reach out to you?
It is.
Because you have support in the office to answer the phone and get back to you. So it's the 626-314-3001 telephone number. So for those who get in contact with her, definitely use this number.
Schedule you an appointment.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Well, I'm very happy to have you back on.
You guys,
to have you come back again.
Wow.
Keep up the amazing work. We really appreciate you.
The first builder to come on. You're the first to come back. I'm reaching out to others to have them come back and give updates and progress on what they're doing and show homes and all that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Take your breaks. Eat your lunch.
Okay.
Drink your water.
Drink your water.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Ryan, anything?
But he's like, bye. He's like, get out.
No, you got work to do. Bye.
Bye.
See you later. So that was good. I'm glad that she came back on. I'm excited about what she's doing. And this was the fourth groundbreaking and the 5th will be Monday. And I believe, others, like she said, either weekly or sometimes one, sometimes two. But I think it's going to be pretty amazing to see all of the homes. And I think you had it already and showed it from one of those pictures I had. If you happen to drive in Altadena and see one of these big signs, if you can pop that back up, Jamal,
Yeah,
that is a Kendra Mays designed home and lot. And the sign goes up either as they break ground or right before. Yep. And they're big. They're huge because those are 4x4s that by 8. I think they're 4x4 by, no, I think they're by 10 or by 12. Huh?
Yeah, it's probably taller than 8.
Yeah, I think they're 4x4 by 12, or there might be even 20, but they're large. And so if you happen to drive through Altadena and see one of these signs, know that you are looking at a lot that is being rebuilt by Kendra. And that obviously the number is there. It's huge, and you can contact her. I think people will begin. And you know what's funny? I said, oh, see in the background that where the bushes are? Yep. You see my sign?
Mm-hmm.
And the house next door to it, over in the yellow, there's one stuck right over there. And I was like, that is too funny because I don't remember putting those signs on those lots. But I drove all over the place when people sent me the money for them, and I put them up, and they say Altadena Strong and we're resilient in unity, or unity and resilience, or whatever. And it's people literally holding hands with our mountains in the background. And I still have tons. So if anybody wants one, reach out. I'll put one on your lot too. But I'm excited for Altadena, not only with what Kendra's doing, but with what all the builders are doing, and how many people will be back in their homes, for the holidays, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for all kinds of stuff. So super excited about that. And I guess we're going to segue to announcements, Jamal.
I can definitely do that. Here
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Welcome, everybody. All right. So the Altadena Community Center is the location you go for survival support. It's the survival support location in Altadena. It's located at 730 East Altadena Drive in Altadena. If you have some questions about the location, or would like to talk to somebody, you can reach out to 626-398-6174. Now, they're available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And some of the services that are there are SBA, DCBA, Treasurer and Tax Collector, and the Assessor's Office. As I've mentioned before, FEMA is no longer physically at this location, but you can still reach out to them at disasterassistance.gov. Then we have the Permit Center, the One-Stop Permit Center at 464 West Woodbury Road, Suite 210. Their walk-in hours are 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And you can set up a rebuild consultation appointment. Those are available Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. or Saturdays 8 to noon. You can also set up an appointment with the Southern California Planner, Edison Planner. Those are available Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to noon. And to set up an appointment, you just go to the website, recovery.lacounty.gov/rebuilding/1-stop-permit-centers. Why do they keep doing that? All right. Now, as we know, the fees for the permits are being waived or potentially refunded for those homeowners rebuilding after the Eaton and Palisades fires. If you've already paid your fees, they can be refunded. And if you haven't yet to pay your fees, you can have them waived. You basically, in order to qualify, have to demonstrate that you both owned and lived on your property prior to January 7th, 2025. The projects that are eligible for this fee waiver or refund is a replacement single-family home destroyed by the fires, which could include an accessory structure like a garage, ADUs, pools, etc. It also includes standalone ADUs for temporary occupancy during the rebuilding. Unfortunately, commercial, rental, multifamily, or temporary housing projects, in addition to properties not damaged by the fires, are not eligible for the refund or the waiver. Now, in order to actually get the refund or waiver, you do have to fill out one of the forms, and you can scan the QR code to get that, or you can go to recovery.lacounty.gov/fee-waivers-and-refunds. Once you fill out the form, you can either submit it via email at recovery@planning.lacounty.gov, or you can simply walk it into the permit center. You only need one to cover all the departments, so that makes it really easy. And then CalAssist Mortgage Fund is still available to get some mortgage relief. And it's 3 monthly payments of your mortgage up to a maximum of $20,000. The funds don't have to be repaid, and it's free to apply. And the grants are paid directly to your mortgage servicer, not to you and then to them, directly to them. So make sure you apply, because the funds are only going to be awarded as long as the funds are available. So to be eligible, your primary residence must have been destroyed or considered uninhabitable due to the recent Eaton or Palisades fire or any other qualifying disaster from the 1st of January 2023 to the 8th of January 2025. You must own and occupy a home with up to 4 units on the property and meet the program income limits of a combined amount of $140,700. Now, if you do qualify, or when you apply, you need to be prepared to provide mortgage statements, bank statements, utility bills, homeowners insurance, or FEMA claim, in addition to proof of income. Now, to apply, you go to calassistmortgagefund.org, and at the top there is an apply button. If you have questions and need some help over the phone with filling this out, you can reach out to 800-501-0019, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. However, if you would like in-person help, you can go to the Altadena Community Center at 730 East Altadena Drive to get some in-person help from the folks at Neighborhood Housing Services, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, the LA Fire Justice Group is actually having an ongoing workshop series designed to provide a roadmap and answers your questions about the rebuilding process. The next installment will be next Tuesday, the 19th, where the topic will be Building Smart. And the last one will be on the 26th of August, where the contractor conundrum will be discussed. All these meetings are held at the LA Fire Justice Office, which is 221 East Walnut Street, Suite 100 in Pasadena. And then at 6:30, opening remarks begin. The guest speakers speak at 6:45, and then that'll be followed by Q&A at 7:30. And do note that refreshments are provided. These are the last 2 days for the free lunch at the library service that's being provided by the Jefferson and the Villa Park branch of the library. This is going on 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And this is where they provide healthy meals for children's ages 0 to 18 with no registration required. Again, tomorrow is the last day, August 15th. Dina Heals does have a men's healing circle, which is actually today, August 14th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join them for a men's healing circle where men can share, connect, and heal together. It's located at Paseo Outdoor Mall, 300 East Colorado Boulevard, Suite 151 in Pasadena. And the parking is located at the Colorado Boulevard in Euclid. In order to, hold on, let me see here. If you want to go ahead and register, you would go to bit.ly/DH for Dina Heals, all lowercase, -sacred-lessons. And then we have several backpack giveaways. So Hope Now presents the backpack giveaway. That'll be tomorrow, beginning at 10 a.m. until supplies last. They're giving bags and school supplies, and the location is 1800 North Lake Avenue in Pasadena. To reserve your bag, you can email them at info@hopenowcrc.org, or you can call 626-817-3910. And they will only hold your reserved bag until 6:30. So make sure to get there to pick it up. There's an additional backpack giveaway located at 1280 East Washington Boulevard in Pasadena. This is tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And this is a first come, first serve situation here. So definitely get there. If you can't make one, you can try to make the other. Looks like there's going to be several options in order to get some backpacks and school supplies. Which brings us to our third one. The Darden Leadership and Career Academy, in conjunction with Simply Divine Academy, is presenting their 5th annual Back to School giveaway. There were 2 Saturdays they were doing this. The last of these is this Saturday, August 16th. It'll be located at 421 East Woodbury Road in Altadena, and it will go from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They're going to be providing backpacks and school supplies. There will also be community resources and free haircuts, as well as books. In order to register, you want to scan the QR code on the bottom right portion of the flyer, right above August 16th, and definitely get there. And there should be some really nice things there in addition to the backpacks and the school supplies. And we have another one presented by Charlie's Angels. There's a back to school give back. It is this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be located at the Eaton Blanche Park, which is 3100 East Del Mar Boulevard in Pasadena. They're giving away free school supplies, free backpacks, free haircuts, free braids. There'll be community services, free food, surprise giveaways, as well as much, much more. Please note that for the haircuts and braids, they do ask that you request just a simple style so that they can make sure that they provide the services to everybody. To register, you would scan the QR code on the screen and definitely do that so they can make sure they have enough supplies for everyone. Again, Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2, there's an additional workshop happening for homeowners with reverse mortgages. This is going to be located at Monte Cedro Senior Living Community, located at 2212 El Molino Avenue in Altadena. This is with the California Department of Insurance, where they're going to guide you on how to work with the department on any issues you may be having with your agent or adjuster during these claim processes related to your reverse mortgage. To register, you would go to 081625 at eventbrite.com. We've got a couple different performers at this weekend Summer Park Concert Series. This is, again, Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. This is located at Memorial Park, which is 85 East Holly Street in Old Town. So there's going to be Latin jams. So they're saying join them for a night of Latin jams with Mateus. And in addition to Mateus, there's also going to be, or you know what? The other one just said Latin Jam. So this one is specific to the artist that's actually going to be there. So if you're ready to get your Latin music groove on, definitely come out to Memorial Park this Saturday from 5 to 8. And then the folks at Harambe are actually providing free vision screening and eyeglasses exclusively for Eaton Fire survivors. It is by appointment only, and it will be August 18th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Harambe location, which is 1609 Navarro Street in Pasadena. They're providing vision screenings, on-site refractions, eye exams, prescription eyeglasses, and as well as referrals. They say if you currently wear glasses, please bring them. And if you wear contacts, please don't wear them to the screening. Book your appointment by using the QR code at the bottom, or you can go to tinyurl.com/ in all caps, Helen Keller Screenings. And then we have next Saturday, and I had indicated we're going to start promoting this until then, but it's Saturday, August 23rd from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. It is Chris Holden's 26th Annual Community Resource Fair and Block Party. It's hosted by LA Fire Justice and located at the 500 block of East Jackson Street in Pasadena. Come and support resilience for the Altadena business and families. Bring the whole family to play games, listen to live music, pick up resources from the local nonprofits and agencies, shop local businesses, and encourage each other as a community. You can scan the QR code to get more information and to register. In addition to that event on that Saturday, August 23rd, the Miracle City Ministries and partners present Altadena Rebuild Conference. So it is Saturday, August 23rd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. located at 997 East Walnut Street in Pasadena. It is 2 blocks east of Lake, and they're actually going to have several presenters. I'm not going to read them all, but I'm going to, mention a few. So it'll be LA County Planner, the County Fire Department, Mennonite Disaster Services, Neighborhood Housing Services of LA, SoCal Edison might be there, Homebound, Adler Law Group, and many, many more. So for more information, contact the event coordinator at 626-989-2281, or you can reach out to Miracle City Ministries at yahoo.com. That's the last of the flyers today or announcements. Bring it back to Toni and B. Another great episode, you guys. We love it when we have, great guests that come on. And in particular, in this case, a guest returning, giving an update of the great stuff that's happening in Altadena that she's a part of, helping the community grow, get back, and rebuild. So thank you, Toni, for having her come back on. You're muted.
I saw that. I was like, I know. Thank you. I said, definitely what we do is for the community. So, we talked about having people come back on, and I'm getting in touch with other builders to see if they are willing to come back on and share some updates and some progress. Super excited about that because it's so very important. We do have some other guests coming on tomorrow. We'll have another episode of the Toni Talk Show. Normally it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we're getting people in, and sometimes we have to be flexible. We will still talk about the announcements and everything tomorrow, that's happening this weekend. But we have the wildfire attorneys are coming on tomorrow. Vaco, Artinian, and Santo Ricobono. Wildfire Recovery Attorneys is their specific firm name. Brian and I met Vaco at an event at PCC. I forgot the name of it. It was like a roundtable event. Where it was by Altadena Rising.
Yep.
And we sat at tables and discussed what are the needs of the community. And Vaco is an attorney, and I remember saying something on the board, and he said, well, that's partially right, but that's not 100% correct because I'm an attorney. And I was like, okay, good, right? Because I'm not an attorney, I'm not an expert. So he was able to correct me, and then we stayed in touch. He gave us his info, and we've talked a couple times, and we invited him on. And so now they are coming on tomorrow. We do have LA Fire Justice coming on next week on Tuesday with Chris Holden. But wildfire recovery attorneys are going to come on tomorrow. So if you're going to watch, be prepared, get your questions ready. They're going to tell you what they do and what services they offer to people if they want to contact them. So we shall see, but it should be another good show tomorrow.
Really good show. Really good show.
Really good. Oh, yeah. Brian normally says that, but he's garbled. So, B, he's so quiet. He got locked out of the office last night, you all. He usually does a bunch of stuff, promo videos and all kind of stuff. and he locked his keys in the office, which was kind of bizarre. But I'm glad that I'm sorry, I'm not sleepy. Why that's happening, I don't know. That he didn't lock his car keys in the office because he was able to go home and come back this morning.
He'd have had to call me.
Oh, yeah.
It was 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like, or me, because we got office keys. But yeah, you better not call me at 1 o'clock talking about I just locked myself out the office.
I wasn't even going to call Jamal, but I know he would have came. But I just went home.
That's your brother. Yeah, that's your brother. He would have come.
Sherry was happy.
And if Jamal happens to be in Vegas and you do it, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro, don't call me. Love you, but not like that, because I'm not coming 30 minutes to. No, I'm just joking. I would. You know, I would have to do it too. You know, good and well, I'd be like,
just Uber them up there.
Right.
I'd have like my eye like this, looking at you, one eye, jaundiced eye, like, bruh, you really got me out the bed. Yeah, but I
know
would.
you didn't.
But I actually would do it too, so no worries. But yeah, thank you.
I would only get called on emergencies, like a super emergency. That wasn't an emergency.
Yeah. But it was a good show. I do look forward to tomorrow. I look forward to people next week and others that we can fit in, like level 42.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get more.
And BZ Build, and you know, we need to know progress and where these places are and how it's coming, so that our community can continue to see it and continue to have hope and be ready to, you know, start their builds or start talking to people, even if they're not starting to build. So and
get those other people that are part of the process, you know, like we're trying to get even Catherine Barger and her team out there, and then some insurance folks, because I know we have the commissioner, the tax guy, but if we can get some insurance folks to talk, you know, that'd be really cool. Definitely. And if you guys want anybody or any type of person to be on any, you know, service or department, let us know. Let us know what you need, so we can actually, you know, shoot for that, and you know, try to get those folks on. We want to, you know, provide what you need.
Yeah, because we're trying to push things out, and Brian and I will be on location coming up soon. Next week, I think the 18th Wednesday or something, we're going to be doing something. And definitely maybe on Monday morning, I might be over there on Thurn, where they're going to ground break again, and just a bunch of stuff, but super exciting. And then I did tell Pastor Kerwin I wanted him to come on, because they're Pasadena Church over on across kind of from Victory Park, or are they on Altadena Drive? Over in that area. But they continue every Saturday to have this drive-through if you need items, right? Diapers or purifiers, air purifiers, all kind of stuff. Yeah, I was asking him, I said, are you guys still, you know, doing everything? And he said, absolutely, every Saturday. So just come on and talk about what he's doing in the community and what they've been doing since January, 7 months in, and all of that. So I'm going to contact him for that. But we will, for the next couple months, be having a lot of good stuff coming on. Also, I mentioned, I think earlier in the week, that Altadena Talks, us as a foundation and podcast, will be having something. It will be at Loma Alta Park on November 22nd. I do have the confirmed date. That happened yesterday evening. And it's going to be a beautiful, big event for the community. So we're excited. I'm in the planning phases of that, meeting with people, and we will be doing some giveaways. But yeah, it's right before holidays begin, and we are doing everything we can for the community. And that's an event that we will also be having for the community. So super excited and looking forward to that. Yes, this is not quite August 22nd, but if you don't start planning now, you'll miss out on dates and all kinds of things, and it will be too late in a minute. So super excited that we're going to be having that event happen, and we will talk about that more in detail later and give registration QR code, because we're not going to do like what happened Friday is Super King. It will be registration, and it will be check-in when you get there, because we want to make sure that people that sign up for that are registered and that they get what we have announced will be for them to have. So anywho, that's all from me. Anything from you, B and Jamal? Thanks, Dougie, man. Y'all are like...
I said my piece. let me retract that. Let me just add to what I've said. Hope everybody has a wonderful Thursday and rounds out the week by joining us tomorrow for a TGI Friday event and another Tony Talks episode where we have some good folks. We appreciate you guys. We really
We're
do.
going to call it the Tony Talks Takeover.
No, we're not. No, we're
Yes, we
not.
are, because you're going to be on this a whole week and all next week.
It is not. It is the Altadena Talks podcast.
No, it's going to be, no, we got segments. This is the time where we put Toni on the spot. Tony Talks Takeover. She going to be bringing it to you raw and uncut.
Whatever we can do to make
We're
sure
going to be out in the streets.
that we continue
Get
to
you the
participate in the recovery of our beautiful town of Altadena. And of course, Pasadena too, because they had pieces and Sierra Madre had pieces, but you know, we're Altadenians, so that's the majority of our focus, and we are called Altadena Talks. So whatever we can do to help the community in the recovery for the ongoing foreseeable recovery for a few years or whatever, however long we're on, so be it. We'll do it, and that's that. So yeah.
What she said.
So I will say toodles. Peace. Have a wonderful Thursday, you all.
Are you hitting the button, bro?